All right, guys. So here it is, the update on what's currently going on right now. As you can see by the thumbnail, I finally found a right-hand drive clip for my Del Sol. So I am going to be vlogging the whole right-hand drive conversion. This will just be part of my vlog build for the whole car, but it'll also be like a separate vlog that will just be more for the right-hand part. So it'll just be like, say, vlog 10, and it'll just be part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and so on and so forth. Because there is a lot involved. It's not as difficult as most people would think. There is a right way in doing this right-hand drive conversion versus what you may have heard out there. I have done a few already, so I do know the correct way. And mind you, I have done this conversion by myself. Of course, an extra set of hands always works better, but I have done this conversion by myself, so it's not that difficult. It just makes it easier if you have a couple of guys with you. I did buy the clip from hmotorsonline. The last one they had was about a year ago, so it took me about 8 months ago. It took that amount of time for them to get me a clip in. And it wasn't for me that they brought it in for. They just found one. They said it was more beneficial to bring a clip in here with a clip stateside with a B16 in it. So they said they ran across plenty of clips they could have brought, but it only benefits them when they can bring a clip with a B16 in it, because they make the majority of their money on the motor. And everything from there, bumper support, radiator support, bumpers, fenders, hoods, all that stuff is extra if they can part it out and sell it, as well as the right-hand drive clip. And there's always somebody that's interested or somebody that knows, but it's a very small percentage of us out here that do know how to convert it, or they're buying it for a shop to convert or whatnot, but it is expensive to get done, and then wanting to make sure that it's done the right way as well. So this is more or less just going to kind of be a show and tell of the clip itself, and what's all involved in terms of what you have to do to prep the clip, to take the clip apart, because you're more pulling the firewall, but I'll explain all that right now. So bear with me while I get set up, and I will be right back. Okay, so here is the clip. Just gonna do a walk around just to kind of show you guys how the clip is bought. Sometimes you might get it where you can buy the clip and it'll come with the whole front end. But they really part it out. If you don't need the core support, then I'm assuming that they charge extra for it, because I see it listed for a clean core support. So if you don't need it, then it's obviously it costs more if you do need it. In this case, I didn't need it. My Del Sol is straight, so they went on and that's why they have it chopped here. But I bought clips where it did have the whole front end, but I guess they felt the way that's some parts they can make money on, where I would probably trash it or something like that, so they'd rather cut it off and keep it and sell it. But this is pretty much the breakdown. Obviously, being right-hand drive, it puts the booster and everything on this side. You got the throttle cable that is going to be different, so that is something that is required that you need to make sure that you do have. Of course, it's going to have all the same parts. It's going to have the power steering rack. It's going to have the cross member. The cross member is obviously important because it actually puts the power steering controls and everything now, of course, on the right side. Everything else is pretty standard. Another thing that you will need, in my case, I'm not really going to be needing it, is your brake lines. So obviously you have the brake booster and everything here. So now you have these brake lines that now route this way, and they then run to your valve here, and then you have them that run down. Now on the car, the brake lines will come from the rear. They will come up from this way. So this is where you would mount your brake lines into this valve here. But instead, on the US version, this is different, where it reroutes the brake lines to this side where your brake booster would normally be at. So in this case, being that it's right-hand drive, this is where you'll need these brake lines, because instead of it being over here, it's now over here. So this is very important to have if you're going to have a setup. I have bought Chase Bay's brake line relocation, so I'm gonna have a interior kit where it's gonna all my brake lines and everything is gonna be tucked. So this my engine bay is gonna be completely clean of all this drama that runs along the firewall. But it's not necessary to go that route. It's just something that I was already planning on doing. Of course, you're gonna have the heater core and everything that's gonna come out the same here. So it's gonna look exactly the same as the US version side. So nothing changes there. Everything is the same from this point out as far as your heater. Air condition wise, I'm not gonna have air condition, so I'm just gonna unbolt that there and unbolt these lines for the air condition, as I'm not gonna need it, so it'll make it a lot cleaner. But like I said, just wanted to do a walk around. Like I said, the throttle cable is important. Obviously, you have your brake booster on this side, and your brake proportion valve here. Then, of course, you have the steering rack, and then you have the cross member itself. Everything else is pretty much the same on that note. So let me go around here, and of course, you have the dash. They have some kind of oil pressure gauge there that was hooked up, so I'm not sure. Like I said, it did have a B16 and they had it glued, so it messed up my dash here, which I'm kind of pissed about. I knew it was here. It was just sitting straight up like this, and when I bought it, so I either knew it was either screwed in or it was glued. So something happened to where it got cracked. So I'm gonna have to see about having this dash rewrapped, or if I can find a right-hand drive cover, which I probably won't. And I don't even know if I want a right-hand drive cover. I don't even know if I want a cover on it, period. But either way, I'll see about getting the dash rewrapped, so I can get that part repaired, because I know it will bother me. But no big deal. Then of course, it does not come with the gauge cluster. I just happen to get it and purchase it additionally, because the gauge cluster runs in conjunction with the air condition and heater controls. This clip is actually OBD2 wise. It came OBD. This clip is from the 96 and 97. So therefore, it's an OBD2 clip in the sense. So in my dash, I'm gonna have OBD2 wires and stuff running down to my ECU. But in this case, being that my car is OBD1, my cluster won't mate correctly to the JDM controlled air condition controls. So it is really important to, if you can get the cluster with the clip, it's important to get the cluster with the clip. And this clip is actually a VTEC clip. So it was a B16 Del Sol VTEC. This clip was cut from a VTEC Del Sol that came with the B16, 5-speed B16. So everything will mate in the sense, since mine is a US version. So I made sure that I got the cluster, and plus it made sure that they didn't have to do any additional work, because they could just leave the cluster in there instead of removing it to sell it to somebody else. But that is an important factor. It's not a necessity. It's just if you want to run your heater control, when you plug it up to your cluster, to your USDM cluster, it might not work correctly, because the electronics with the cluster versus the US version is a little bit different. But I mean, I'll find out those exact details, because you may or may not be able to get the cluster. So this is just pretty much just a quick snapshot video of what's what. They do provide you with the full harness all the way to the end, all the way to the back. Comes with everything. The brake handle itself, it now positions itself on this side versus it being on this side. And then of course you have the trunk release for the gas that's on this side as well, and it does come with the cable. So then I can route that and change it. That specifically I could leave on the other side, because it's normally over here. So I will determine if I will be changing it. More than likely I will, because the actual screws and bolt holes are actually on both sides of the car. They made one car and just changed the firewall. So the steering column, this one, this got busted, but I'll be able to pull the US one out anyways. The turn signals and windshield wipers, they should be the same. They are still on the left and on the right side of the column. let me see. I think that's pretty much it. Now come down to the exact way that this gets done. Obviously, I'll be shooting different videos from it, but what's generally going to happen is I'm gonna end up pulling the firewall out of this clip. So what's gonna happen is once I strip it all completely down to bare metal, I am going to be drilling out the spot welds along, and it's kind of hard to see while you have all this stuff that's still here, and of course I have to pull the dash. But I have to pretty much strip this whole thing down to bare metal. Everything's got to come off. I mean, everything has to come off. So you'll be able to see. But like I said, I just want to do a quick snapshot of a clip that I did get. So like I said, I suggest you subscribe and follow, and of course like and share to follow this conversion, as I will be doing step by step. I don't know if I'm going to do it like detail by detail by detail, but I'm going to try to do my best, as it's going to be a lot of time spent. I don't think I'd be able to post up videos of that long, so I'll kind of get the more basics out of the way of the conversion itself in terms of what you have to do. So it may be pieces here and there that I'll record and build a video at the end to just kind of show you the main parts. And of course, if there's any questions or concerns, you can always comment down below or whatever it is, or reach out to me. I do have a Instagram that you can also follow, and that's JDMEK100. And you can follow me there, as well as I'd be updating with pics and such. But this is where I will be having the videos and the vlog of it. But like I said, just a quick introduction of the clip itself. Like I said, it is a 5-speed clip. The pedal assembly, that is also something that you will need, as it kind of mounts different. You can't take the left-hand one and put it on this side. They are routed differently. So there are some things that will be different that you can't use from a US version. And I have my stopper over there in the corner, where it normally would be in that left side. It's right here on my footrest. And I'm gonna go all the way to making sure that I have the hood latch on this side. So I am going to be taking everything apart and welding everything in place where it needs to be. But that's pretty much what's gonna happen. I'm gonna drill out the spot welds. I'm gonna pull the firewall, and then I'm gonna go and do the surgery on my actual car. Do the same thing, pull the firewall, and I'll slide this one in. And it sounds like it's simple, 1, 2, 3, but it is quite a bit of work involved. You just have to be patient and do everything correctly, because it's not like you can order more parts for a right-hand drive. So just take your time. The first time I did it, it took me a few months, and that wasn't working on it every day, a couple hours here, a couple hours there. But now I'm down to doing it in about a week and a half, maybe 2 if I'm strict at it. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna take my time. Like I said, it's so hard to come across these versus just the EG clip. It's hard to come across the Del Sol one. So that is it for now. Until then, I am gonna start tearing this down. I gotta pull the dash out and everything, which should be pretty basic in the sense of finding videos on YouTube, how to tear that part. But I'm gonna be more vlogging the actual taking apart of the firewall and things of that nature. But I'll do my best to kind of go along with everything as I do things. So until then, to my next video, peace out, and I will talk to you soon.